Well, good afternoon and welcome to the third edition of our 660 Club Retail Week Takeover. My name's Jeremy Bassett. I'm CEO of CoCubed, a London-based digital transformation agency, and we're passionate about connecting retailers with startups. At CoCubed, we track over 37,000 retail tech startups from right around the world. And from our perspective, it is obvious that these are companies who are pioneering the future of the industry. And there's never been a more important time to pioneer the future of retail. Here's a 30-second overview of what we do. At CoCubed, we're passionate about democratizing innovation. We want to make it easier for retailers with challenges to connect with startups with solutions. And that's exactly why we launched the 660 Club. We wanted to give you the opportunity to hear from straight-talking industry experts, to meet with startups who have practical solutions, and to do all of that in 60 minutes. Since we launched in May, over 800 retailers, brands, corporates, and entrepreneurs have engaged with the 660 Club. So it's really exciting to see the appetite and hunger for innovation today. We've tackled some really meaty topics so far, from partnering with Amazon Web Services to look at back to work and technologies that can remobilize our workforces after COVID. Then in June, we looked at a series of reigniting growth, highlighting game-changing startups from the marketing and ad tech sector. And then this month, we're looking at brand challenges, featuring briefs from global brands such as Jones Lang LaSalle, Capita, Hyundai, and others. And of course, this week, we're looking at retail, partnering with retail to bring you pioneers at the forefront of the retail industry. We've set out to make innovation accessible for everyone, and through 660 Club, we're doing just that. But of course, every retailer is unique, and they all face different challenges. So if you're looking at how you can take your innovation capabilities to the next level, we'd love to talk to you about that and about startups that can help solve your particular brief. We can have that conversation right after this. Check out the CoCubed brief and get in touch. All right, on with today, and we're going to be looking at store superheroes and startups who are changing the game for the in-store retail experience. To tell us more about the topic from Retail Week, please welcome Poppy Mickelberg.
Hi, Jeremy.
Poppy, welcome back to the club.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Poppy, obviously, we're looking at retail today, but give us the lowdown on Retail Week Live and the event that's coming up in October.
Absolutely. So Retail Week Live is the largest gathering of retail leadership in the UK, and it will take place this year on the 7th and 8th of October, postponed from its usual time of March. One of the key features of Retail Week Live is an area called Discovery, which is where we partner with you guys, CoCubed. And what we do is we house 50 of the most exciting startups that we believe are shaking up the retail industry. And then throughout the 2 days, we host a pitching competition, which is judged by a group of senior retailers and experts to then crown the retail startup of the year. Retailers really love Discovery because it means they can quickly identify which startups could help add new innovation and ideas to their businesses. So I'm really looking forward to the next hour, seeing the startups pitching and to really give us a taste of what's to come later in October.
Brilliant. 7th to 8th of October, lock it in your diary. Today, though, is all about store superheroes. Poppy, give us a little bit more detail around the topic and why this is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. So in a post-COVID world, retailers are really going to need to transform their stores to operate safely, both for their customers and also their frontline staff. Curation will also be a key winning strategy, and the most effective merchandise assortments will be the result of really great partnerships and those partners being able to share the data. And I think in the current climate, it's more important than ever for store assortments to bring value and convenience to the customer, as well as obviously safety as well. So the Store Superheroes Tribe at Retail Week Live is designed to forge those vital partnerships and to help retailers take the value of their stores to the next level. So everything from music that puts you in sync with your customers to next generation indoor GPS. Today we're going to showcase the 6 of the Store Superhero startups, but those watching can check out many more at Retail Week Live later in the year.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, Poppy, you're going to be doing the startup pitches, running that section in just a few minutes. But for now, I will say goodbye and explain how the next 50 minutes are going to work. In just a second, we're going to hear insights from our guest speaker. Then we'll dive right into the pitches from the 6 startups who have practical solutions to turbocharge your in-store experience. And then at about 2:45, we're going to head over to the Expo booth, where you'll meet with startups. You can ask some questions. You can connect with other club members there and take the conversations forward. Use the chat bar at the right to say hello, make comments, ask questions as we go. But apart from that, it's now my privilege to introduce our guest speaker. Sarah Clark is the Chief Commercial Officer at Oka, working within the luxury furniture and home accessory sector. She has almost 20 years experience in retail, including 13 years in sales and marketing at Procter & Gamble. Sarah, welcome to the club.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sarah, I gave a brief overview of your bio, but why don't you give us a little bit more background on who Sarah is and what you're doing at Oka?
Yes, certainly. I was at a very tiny American company called Procter & Gamble that you may have heard of for around 14 years and spent some time in the UK, Europe, US and into Asia. So lots of very, very different retail landscapes. Obviously spent my most beloved time with the UK high street and the UK big retailers, but have worked everywhere from Japanese department stores to sort of India mum and pop stores. So I was with P&G for quite a while and then moved to a much smaller brand called Rapha, where I was Chief Marketing Officer. Rapha's for those who are not a mammal on the call, Rapha is a cycling brand, a British cycling brand. And I had the joy of working there first in Asia and then in London for around 6 years. And then again, decided it was time for a new challenge. So moved to a totally different category. I moved into homewares and furniture with a tiny British brand again called Oka, which again has 14 stores scattered across the UK, so still with retail very much at the fore. So quite a peppered career, sort of skipped from cosmetics and fragrances through to cycling jerseys and into tables and chairs, but always with a sort of love for passion brands that people enjoy and also for the retail landscape.
Yeah, very cool. And Raph is not just great for Lycra. I mean, they also do a fantastic coffee. We sit right above their office in Soho.
Yes.
And I have to say, I'm missing Rapha right now.
Well, I'm sure they're desperate to get everyone back in as soon as possible. It's been pretty sad as a cyclist doing socially distanced rides, I can tell you.
Yeah. Or worse, rides with your kids. That's what I'm doing at the moment. So, we've got unprecedented circumstances that everyone's been talking about for the last 4 months. But, how we adjust to the new normal? How is COVID impacting your strategy at Oka? What's going on at Oka?
Yeah, so just to give some brief background so that everyone's clear on Oka, because I appreciate people may not have heard of the brand. British furniture brand, we turned 21 years old this year, so happy birthday to us. Tiny brand worth around 30 million in turnover. As I said, 14 stores peppered across the UK. Obviously, it's always been an important part of furniture. People like to sort of touch and feel and sit on things before they buy them. So historically, we've been split around 50-50 web and retail revenue. Also with a trade channel and an interior design service. The business was actually bought in 2018 by a private equity firm, Invest Industrial, which is a £5 billion fund with big ambitions to double sales by 2024 and to launch into the US as a vital part of that. We had just launched in the US in September 2019 And excitingly, we'd found our first store in Westport, just north of New York, ready to launch in July 2020. But then unfortunately, I think humanity broke a mirror on the way into 2020, and we seem to be living the repercussions of that. So of course, we're on pause, waiting to restrike with a vengeance back in Westport. But in terms of COVID, even before lockdown had happened in the UK, obviously globally we had been struggling with our supply chain, as I'm sure lots of retailers also felt that brunt. And then, of course, as we went into lockdown, we closed stores, put people into furlough across traditional retail, but also interior design and trade. And from that point on, really started to sort of evaluate where we were going and what we were doing. We digitized, obviously, a lot of our offering in order for web to help to recoup while retail was shut. And we digitized a lot of our content, our magazines. We increasingly used editorial and film to engage customers, and actually started training a lot more behavior with customers actually finding us and coming to us on the web. Most dramatically, which is a story for a glass of wine another time, we also liquidized our sister brand, Wisteria, which was a furniture brand we had bought to facilitate our entry into the US.
Okay.
Question, I think really the impact that COVID is having on our store strategy is, first of all, we've really thought about whether stores are important to our strategy ongoing. And it's enabled us to reflect and double down our commitment. And we still believe that retail is fundamentally an incredibly important part of our journey, and especially for our category. So people want to physically interact with our product. They want to physically interact with people in store. But we know that we need to evolve, and that journey needs to be even more compelling in order to get people into the stores. So the three areas where we really want to evolve is to make sure we're providing an inspirational experience, and I'll come back to talk about that later. Make sure we're focusing on building relationships. I know often we can pay lip service to that, but I think this is really where the rubber's going to hit the road from 2020 onwards. And then also just understanding our customers' demands and needs, and make sure we can fulfill them in a smart and efficient way as possible. So those really are the three things that we've spent time reflecting on, and which we're going to double down on in the next 12 to 18 months.
Fascinating. And so inspiration, relationships, and then efficiency and meeting your customers' needs. Three big things to deliver on. How do you go about implementing that and meeting those needs?
Yes, well, probably similar to many retailers, we spent the first couple of weeks just trying to understand how to reopen a store. So we'd learnt something from the supermarkets, but obviously we're a luxury retailer. So sadly, the black and yellow tape wasn't going to pass for us. So having got through the hygiene factors of working out COVID-19 interventions, how we give reassurance before anything else on social distancing, enhanced hygiene, making sure staff felt very comfortable and could then project that to the customer experience. That was obviously priority number one. Now, as we look at those priorities which will take us forward, we really have a mixture of accelerating things we knew we needed to do and new interventions as well. So I'd categorize those as accelerating the changes in clienteling, which we'd already recognized, and again, probably often we pay lip service to without really taking the painstaking time to map out the customer journey. We'd started implementing Salesforce. We've really accelerated that and spent a lot of time with the staff before the stores even opened to really focus on data capture, how to use customer data to really personalize the needs and the journey. We're also evolving our offering in terms of both products and services. So we've actually accelerated a launch of a made-to-measure range, which allows people to come in store and actually customize. So again, trying to bring them a more exceptional product experience. And we're really doubling down on our interior design service. So the good thing about everyone's Great British Summer possibly being at home, or maybe at best in Europe, is people are spending a lot of time looking at their houses. I'm sure everyone's been sat around getting sort of slightly frustrated or furious about something in the house that they want to fix. So we're really doubling down on interior design, offering some great deals and rates for people to do one-room turnarounds so that people can enjoy their Great British Summer in a sort of revamped garden or a revamped living room. And I think, Jeremy, the other things that I'd mention is we have to evolve how we connect with customers. So again, obviously retail has previously had a lot of benefit from footfall and from people browsing, but we've really been quite much more directive in how we attract customers, both into virtual appointments and in real appointments in store. So some people do want real appointments because they want to feel they're getting attention, but in a much more constrained and safe environment with limited numbers. But obviously we've now seen the rise of the virtual appointment, which is something which we're all trying to crack to make that a brilliant experience. And then finally, it's just making sure that in any way that we can add value in a way that's really easy for us, but very meaningful for the customer. These are the no-brainers which we're implementing. So increasing our returns period, giving more flexibility on click and collect deliveries, trying to offer curbside where possible. So there's actually much more limited interaction with the store. So loads to do. And as you can see, a big list, because we're very committed and we think that retail still forms a massive part of our customer journey.
Amazing. And that's an impressive but quite sharp list of things that you've got there to do, Sarah, to really bring back that relationship with the customer, make the in-store experience something worth going into and experiencing, but also looking at how you deliver that virtually. I think those are three big things that would resonate a lot with the other retailers who are on here today. I'm just interested, last question here. Obviously a big agenda, but what are the technologies or solutions that you're looking for to help perhaps deliver some of those things that you mentioned, but also keep the store relevant for the years into the future?
Yes, well, with inspirational experience, we've really been looking at wish lists and how we can enhance those. Wish lists are a bit lazy. They tend to be just where people dump stuff that they're thinking about. But obviously, this is homes and interiors, so we feel we can do a bit better than that. So we've been looking at 3D modeling, how we can help people with mood boards, how their account actually becomes a source of inspiration that they can access at home and in the store, so they can actually help us to help them better. Whether it be retail staff or an interior design consultant. We've looked at different functionalities from various companies around those areas. With building relationships, as I've said, obviously we've started a journey with Salesforce, but we're also looking at how we make omni-channel relevant from live chat through to virtual appointment. So again, helping to sort of digitize people's experience versus keeping the two channels in silo. And as we understand and fulfill customer needs, we've been looking at lots of local technical solutions on how we can improve the click and collect automation journey and how we can automate people's actual appointment scheduling and arrival time in store. So I think lots of opportunity really to use technologies in a smart way to really facilitate customers' needs at the moment.
Very cool. Well, I think you're going to see some of those solutions right now. But thanks so much for joining, Sarah. Fantastic context and a really good intro to today's topic.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right. What time is it? Well, it's pitch o'clock. That's right. It's time for our 6 startups to jump on and share their big idea to transform the in-store experience and to deliver on some of those needs that Sarah has mentioned. To take us through this, we've got Poppy. Poppy, welcome back. And I'll hand over to you to do the intros.
Fab, thank you, Jeremy. Right, let's get the show on the road and buckle up, guys, because these pitches are fast and furious. Each startup is allowed just 2 minutes and there's time for just one question at the end. So I'm going to kick off with our first pitch. In today's current climate, managing the footfall in-store can be difficult at the best of times. And with the increasing pressures to uphold customer experience and adhere to the government guidelines, it can be really tough to do just that. Using the power of music to influence behaviours and emotions. From Startle to tell us more. Hey, Adam.
Hi there. Thank you, Poppy.
Over to you.
Hi, everybody. My name's Adam. I'm from Startle. But before I talk about us, I'd like you to think about something. Think of a film that made you cry, or at least put a lump in your throat. It doesn't have to be recent. It could be any film. Now, think about the moment that choked you up. The story, the build-up, your emotional connection to the characters, the lighting, the music. When you break it down, isn't it amazing that all of those elements work together? They work together so well that they had a neurophysiological impact on you. It's incredible. Now imagine that same scene, but with no music, less suspense, little emotion, no tears. It's without doubt that music can be an incredibly powerful tool. And when coordinated with an overall experience, it can make people feel happy, sad, agitated, or relaxed. It's valuable to think that you could use these same powerful influences to craft how a customer might be feeling in your store, how they might behave, or what impression you will leave them with. And that's where Startle comes in. We've used algorithms, and yes, those buzzwords, machine learning and AI, to extract tens of thousands of features from millions of tracks. By applying proven scientific methodologies, we can predict within 95% accuracy how a particular track is likely to make somebody feel. This allows us to curate playlists that are not about fluffy soundscapes or ambiguous brand sounds. They're about driving behaviors and delivering on a brand experience. We play them over a state-of-the-art platform called Studio that can integrate into your existing systems. We can be used to power and synchronize content on your digital signage screens and video walls too. We call all of this Music Plus. Customer experience has never been so important. We make it easy and cost-effective for you to make your in-store experiences more powerful with Music Plus. Thank you.
Adam, thank you. My film was Marley and Me. Nearly had me crying when I came back on. Anyway, I've got a quick question for you. It's a really fascinating product. Have you kind of got any tangible examples of how retailers have used your technology to their commercial advantage that you can share?
Yeah, so we operate currently in about 10,000 locations. We've recently worked with a retailer whose perfect trading conditions are when it's busy, there's hustle and bustle, and the buys are impulse buys. So actually what we're doing is we're monitoring footfall live within that store and then playing appropriate playlists to either create an artificial sense of hustle and bustle with music that's more activated. And actually when it's busy and things are perhaps too chaotic, we can actually calm customers down a bit by reducing the arousal of the particular tracks. So curating playlists based on footfall to drive essentially a commercial benefit for the customers.
Fab. Adam, thank you so much. And I'm sure Adam will take your questions in the booth afterwards. So thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Right, moving on to our next pitch. With people relying on apps more and more every day to get them from location to location, it is surprising that this type of technology doesn't work indoors where we spend 90% of our time. Help your visitors, customers or tenants find people, products and places with indoor GPS from Tell Us More is Mickey. Hey, Mickey.
Hi. Thank you for
Over to you.
Thank you. So Orient is GPS for indoors. We allow smartphones to know where they are inside any store without having to install anything in the store. So no beacons, no Wi-Fi. We use something that is already all around us and in every store you've ever visited, which is Earth's magnetic field. We combine Earth's magnetic field with the compass in your phone to provide 1 meter accurate location awareness. So we're the only technology that's both accurate and scalable. We allow retailers to offer a better omni-channel customer experience, understand the shopper journey, and also streamline operations. With product search, for example, and shopping list navigation, retailers can recover the lost revenues from items which today's busy shoppers are unable to locate in the store. With in-store traffic analytics, retailers are able to learn the precise shopping patterns and use that information to better communicate with their shoppers along the entire shopping journey, right by the shelf where it matters the most. And indoor GPS also allows retailers to streamline online order picking operations, as well as automatically learn the store layout and product locations for realogram versus planogram compliance. So indoor GPS is really a key component for physical and digital retail. Think of all the uses and benefits of outdoor GPS and imagine what it would be like to have the same capabilities in store. All that without installing a single piece of hardware in the store. It's purely software. Visit our booth to hear more about the magic of Earth's magnetic field and what it can do for your shoppers. Thank you.
Fascinating. Thank you, Mickey. I've needed that recently in supermarkets and I'm only allowed up one way. So sounds like a great product.
I know where you shop.
A quick question for you. Can you share a little bit more about the benefits to retailers of introducing this kind of in-store GPS? What do they get from that?
Yeah, so looking at just the one use case of product search, it turns out that in supermarkets, typical supermarkets, around 30% of people leave the store without buying at least one item that they had on their shopping list simply because they were unable to locate it. That's a surprisingly high number, and this translates into 3 to 5% of lost revenue for the retailers from shoppers who are already in the store. So I think that's, you know, a huge impact of just one use case for indoor GPS.
Absolutely, it would be it would add to the revenues. Mickey, thank you
Yeah.
very much. I'm sure people will come and visit in your booth after.
Thank you.
Right, moving on to the next pitch. So frictionless checkout is no longer a thought for the future. It's very much today's reality. Well, almost. And here to take retail beyond the barcode is Helen from SAI. Hi, Helen.
Hi everyone.
I'll hand over to you.
I've worked in the retail technology industry for over 20 years, focused primarily on grocery retail, innovation around the front end, and customer service. Sold a lot of self-checkouts over the years, and I'm now haunted by the phrase unexpected item in the bagging area. I work at size somewhat driven by the desire to make amends for that. The journey began one Saturday afternoon when manoeuvring a packed trolley through the checkout process. While unpacking, waiting for everything to be scanned, bagging and loading it back into the trolley, it struck some, our CEO, that there must be an easier way. A few months later, iCart was born, a self-powered handlebar with onboard machine vision providing product recognition and a display to keep track of purchases and allow for payment. The first retailer we showed it to was really excited. They loved the cart and are going to deploy it. But they also asked us to use our product recognition engine to help keep track of losses through tills and self-checkouts. So a short while later, we came up with tools to measure misscans and mistakes and identify and report cases of theft. Currently, our products have many use cases that each return value, whether it's in terms of minimizing losses, giving profit protection teams accurate and actionable information, by spotting which items are difficult to scan, delighting customers with self-service options that actually fit the way they want to shop, or even something as mundane as keeping track of how many plastic bags are leaving each store. We're building a platform that will eventually see frictionless checkout coming to large format supermarkets, but we understand there's a long way to go to realise our vision. We hope you'll come and chat about joining us on our journey, and then we can look at ways to tailor store-wide active intelligence to meet your business goals. Thank you.
Helen, thank you. It sounds super interesting. It sounds quite similar to Amazon Go. Is that what you guys are working towards?
It is, although I think most of us in this forum are aware that the Amazon Go, the first store cost around $500 million to implement.
Just a small
budget. They will
budget.
get their return. Most retailers don't have that type of budget. And I don't know if you've been to the store, but it's got limited stock options. It's a restricted environment that you have to be a member and check into. And we don't think it fits the type of way that retailers see themselves servicing their customers and their communities. So within SAI, we've developed a stackable business case based on use cases and reusing a lot of existing infrastructure. So we overlay a lot of our technology on existing CCTV that's already in store. And we have the cart that implements that allows customers that have large baskets to shop for to check out in a way that's very familiar to them, just by dropping the items into the cart and walking out. So we are moving towards a frictionless game, but one business case at a time, adding value at each step of the way.
Brilliant. Thanks for explaining that, Helen. Thank you very much for your pitch.
Thank you.
So we're halfway through now. It's going really quickly. I'm going to move on to pitch 4. With everything going on in the world, getting face-to-face shopping experience with your customer has become increasingly difficult. So how can stores adapt to this? Here with the solution to challenge that challenge, from Appointed, please welcome Leah. Hey, Leah.
Hi, Poppy. Hi.
Over to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Leah Hutchin, and I'm the founder and CEO of Appointed. Appointed is an award-winning online booking and customer engagement platform, and we enable retailers to connect with their customers wherever they are, to give great customer service and to keep their customers safe. We boost basket sizes by, on average, 300%, and we get conversion rates of up to 80% on an in-store purchase. Our conversion rate is so great, in fact, that one of the CEOs of one of our national retailers apparently refers to Appointed as the oil well because we're driving so much revenue. So what's behind that? Well, it's about giving shoppers a really great experience, and with Appointed, that experience is bookable. Appointed works with a whole host of different retailers from Mamas and Papas, Moss Bros, Furniture Village, Space NK, Westfield shopping centres, and our online booking tools are integrated right into their website or any web-enabled platform, so an app, whatever that looks like, to give a brand standard experience right from that first touch point. Prior to COVID, it was all about booking events and personal shop experience. During COVID, things have changed up a little bit. The main thing we're doing is book to browse. 75% of shoppers don't want to wait in a queue, whether that's virtual or in real life. So we're enabling them to book to browse to fast track that. We're hosting virtual events. We just had a sellout product launch with Naomi Campbell that was booked via Appointed. We've got bookable fitting rooms, bookable click and collect. We have zero touch personal shop that starts virtually and then segues into store. We've got people deploying buffers around personal experiences. And all of this is wrapped up in our COVID Flex capacity, which enables a retailer to calculate the capacity of their store and then limit that. So all of the bookings will be automatically limited, whether it's 2 meters, 1 meter, who knows what's coming next, but we enable retailers to respond very quickly and to just deploy that at a flick of a switch. The bookings build a database, so if you need to deploy a track and trace functionality, then you can do that. So we're really looking at transforming those challenges that COVID has brought us into business benefits, and I look forward to hopefully speaking to some more of you later on about that. Thanks.
Leah, thank you. I can definitely relate to the queuing. I think I've spent half of the time of COVID in a queue. So something like this would be very welcome. But I guess a question, so in times of COVID, the situation is changing daily. And I can see very much kind of the need for this at the moment when there is a lot of queuing. Is Appointed a solution that's beneficial to retailers maybe in 6 months' time, hopefully when the world's gone a little bit back to normal?
Yeah, I mean, we're all hoping for a return to normality, aren't we? I think, yeah, I mean, absolutely. We have worked with some of the retailers that I mentioned earlier. We've worked with them for a couple of years. So Westfield, Mamas and Papas, Moss Bros, people like that have been using Appointed mainly for in-store events and segueing from a one-to-many to a one-to-one. So having that really nice upsell and cross-sell and deepening the engagement of their customer experience. But I think, as Sarah said earlier, you know, things like virtual are here to stay. And actually, I think we're richer for it. We're based up in Edinburgh. When you look at the geography of the Highlands and Islands and places like that in Scotland, being able to dial into best-in-class events. We hosted the new product launch of Pat McGrath's new line. Naomi Campbell was involved in that. It went absolutely wild, and that was all bookable via Appointed. And it didn't matter where you were. Anybody was able to engage with that. So absolutely, we're excited about playing an active role in helping retailers deepen and broaden their impact and their relationship, and long may that continue.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully people could have used Appointed to book to your booth after to come and chat to you. But Leah, thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Cheers, Poppy.
Great. So moving on to our penultimate pitch, it's no secret that where customers choose to spend will ultimately decide on the success or failure of retailers over the next coming months. Here to help you connect with customers quickly, efficiently, and personally, please welcome Chris from... Hey, Chris.
Hi, Poppy. Thank you very much
I'll hand
for having me
over
on the
to
call
you.
today. Thank you.
You are welcome.
My name's Chris. I'm from Proximity Insight, and what we do is we help retailers get close to their customers. So what we really care about is exactly what Sarah spoke about at the start. It's building those lasting relationships between the retail associate and their customer. And for us, these associates really are the retail superheroes. And if they're given the right tools, we know they can drive significantly more revenue for the retailer by engaging with their customers, both in-store and through digital channels. So with our solution, a retailer can offer appointments both in-store and virtually using our built-in video chat. Associates can create looks, edits, product recommendations, wish lists for a customer that can be shared in many different ways. and they can easily take payments, whether that's in store or online. And we keep all of that data against the customer profile so that the relationship can grow over time, but also insights can be found, such as what types of messages are resonating, which product recommendations are resulting in more sales, and which channels are driving the highest conversion rates. And we know from our own customers just how much more engagement this personal outreach drives with customers. So in essence, we allow a retail associate to deliver an amazing experience to the customer. It keeps them coming back, it builds that loyalty, and importantly, that means they're spending more with you over time. So we're a UK-based company. We've got some offices in London as well as in the US and Australia. And we've been helping retailers to deliver these types of experiences to their customers for the past 6 years. We work with some well-known brands that you can see here on the screen, and all of them, like us, really believe in the importance of that human connection in an increasingly digital world.
Chris, thank you very much. Can you share a little bit more with me about how you've seen your customers using your technology during the pandemic? Has it changed, or has it been similar?
Yeah, with stores closed, clearly customers have been relying more on our technology to help them continue trading. And there's 3 key aspects to that. First, allowing the associates to reach out to their customers, ask how they're doing, as one of our customers put it, provide a bit of escapism for customers. And customers have responded really well to that. They've continued to spend online, even though the stores have been closed. Secondly, that appointment booking and the video chat capabilities has enabled the associates to offer virtual appointments and stay close to their customers. And in fact, anyone that's interested, you can see what that looks like for yourselves. If you point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen here, you'll be able to see what that looks like. And thirdly, the ability to take remote payments and use pay by link. We're seeing that becoming increasingly important now as well. But overall, what it hasn't changed, it's still about that human connection with your brand, and your associates play a really important role here. So if anyone wants to know a little bit more, we've actually published a report sharing how our customers have been responding during COVID-19. It's called Taking Care of Retail, and you can find that on our website under the Insights section. And of course, if you'd like to see our product live in action, please join us backstage after the pictures, and we'd love to show you.
Fab. Chris, thank you very much. That's brilliant.
Thanks, Poppy.
Cool. So we've nearly reached the end now, but we have one final pitch for today. Did you know that 40% of shoppers encounter out of stock problems every trip, resulting in $550 billion worth of lost sales annually? Here with the solution to this challenge from welcome David. Hey, David.
Hi there. Thanks, Poppy.
Over to you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Apologies, by the way, if you can hear dogs barking in the background, but I can't do much about that. So at YShelf, we think it's about time that the shelf took some responsibility for itself. So what we do at YShelf is we design, build and implement IoT innovation that turns shelves into smart shelves based on our unique technology focused on stock availability, replenishment, efficiency, and also the accuracy of planograms. And we've managed to deliver benefits of proven up to 50% reduction in shelf out of stocks, 40% improvement in replenishment efficiency, and up to 98% planogram compliance. What we do is provide real-time actions and alerts and analysis at store, regional, and head office level to retailers, but also potentially to their suppliers as to what's going on at the shelf with their products through our cloud-based SaaS software. Our solution uses an array of light sensors, which we deploy on the top of the shelf. And our light sensors detect up to 1,000 levels of light, unlike normal on or off binary light sensors. And that means using the ambient light in the store, we can tell the difference between shadows, partial coverage, levels of transparency, and also exact position of products on the shelf. We can also optionally provide high resolution cameras, which we mount at the shelf, and each one can cover 2 to 3 full racks, taking pictures either manually when you trigger it on event or scheduled. And we use incorporated cloud-based image recognition software to look at the planogram and aid planogram and promotional compliance. We also have integrated wireless power units, and this removes the need to have power supplies or connections to power at the gondola. And each one of those units using laser light can power up to 100 shelves and 8 cameras. What we also have is deploying at the shelf the ability to communicate up through the cloud, but also the little units that control a group of shelves can keep them powered for up to a month, even if we lose the wireless power connection. The sophisticated cloud-based software that we have is providing quick win actions. That could be replenishing a shelf, but a lot of analysis and measurement of the benefits that are available to all levels of the organization. What's also very important is the ability to deploy. So our physical and technical architecture has been designed for easy installation, quick to deploy, move around for targeted trials, and we can support pilots of any size with a clear pathway from a proof of concept to a pilot and rollout. Thank you.
David, thank you very much. A quick question. So apart from the inventory management and the planogram compliance, are there any other use cases that are possible with the Wise Shelf solution?
Yeah, absolutely. And we think one of the things very important is all retailers like to sweat their assets. So important that there are several things that one can do off the basic solution. So 2 areas of particular interest. One is theft detection. So we can detect in real time when products are swept from a shelf. So maybe someone's just swept 4 vodka bottles off the shelf. We can actually see that and alert that in real time. The other one that's interesting is being able to understand products that are in more than one location. It's very difficult for a retailer to know whether a product was sold at its primary or secondary location. And with the Wise Shelf technology, we can actually give the insight as to where those products were physically being taken from.
Brilliant, really interesting. David, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so that's it for the pitches. Thank you to all of our 6 startups for those pitches. And remember, if you like what you saw, you can meet them all in person at Retail Week Live on the 7th and 8th of October. And on top of that, you will also be able to hear from over 120 world-class speakers, including the likes of Malcolm Walker, MD of Iceland, Alessandra Bellini, the Chief Customer Officer at Tesco, and Pranav Saxena, the VP of Product at Flipkart, just to name a few. If you would like to come along, you can get a ticket at live.retail-week.com. But right now, I'll welcome Jeremy back to the stage to close us for today.
Excellent. Thanks, Poppy. Great job there. And well done to all of the startups on some amazing pitches that can help to reinvigorate and reignite the in-store experience. It's now time to head over to our Expo booths. Just quickly before we do that, though, don't miss the Future of Retail session tomorrow, 2 to 3 p.m., same time, same place. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at the future of retail, and that's another exciting lineup of 6 different companies we have for you there. The other thing is, next Thursday, we're going to be back with our standard SixSixty brand challenge series. We'll be looking at Jones Lang LaSalle, and they're going to be sharing their big brief on how do we create a workplace of the future that is more sustainable and more useful to everyone. On the 23rd of July, we're also going to be looking at the future of mobility, which should be quite fascinating. A brief there from Hyundai. So do join if you're interested in other sectors as well. Always a good show and always a glimpse into the future of different industries. But right now, it's time to head over to the Expo Zone. Click on that tab in the left-hand margin. Check out the 6 different companies, and of course, CoCubed is there as well if you're interested in what we have to offer retailers. But this is your chance to get up close and personal with the startups you've heard from, ask some questions, pick their brains, and enjoy some conversations with them and other club members as well. See you at the booths and see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining.